Alan, Sundance, a colossal failure. And let me just say, I was at Sundance. I was there just for a couple days. I did some interviews with filmmakers for a project. I'll tell you about that another time. But I was on Main Street, which is the main drag in Park City, Utah, on a Friday, and it was dead. I posted video for members only, so check that out. But I have only heard of one or two movies that really interest me. There's one about podcasters during a zombie outbreak. That one seems kind of interesting. But Alan, I do recommend go to filmthreat.com. Literally just look up Sundance Film Festival. You will see hundreds of reviews going back 20 years and coverage. We always do a wrap-up story. This is from last year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing the wrap-up story for
Yeah.
2025. It links, these are linked. This is like what happened in Park City, the best movies. They're becoming more and more thin. So this is the link to a lot of the films that were reviewed in Park City. There's more than that. It's a simple way for you to get all the coverage. Literally just look up Sundance Film Festival on Film Threat. But Alan, you wanted to talk about
Yes,
and where it is. Tell me. I'm curious.
Okay, so you were there, boots on the ground, and then I didn't get access to Sundance Films until a week after that, or the following week. So I hadn't seen anything by then. We have one writer there, Sabina, and in talking with her, first of all, she confirms the fact that it's dead. There's no one there. Slam Dance not being there also added to the problems.
Sorry about that.
But in terms of the films itself, the theme of Sundance this year should be the theme of Bleak, because I saw 3 movies, all of them just bleak, dark,
like depressing. It's literally when I just read the descriptions of the movies, I want to end things. I just want to
you just want to kill yourself.
It's so like, are there other topics? It just shows that this next generation of filmmakers are depressed with no purpose in life. And it really makes me sad, the topics that are being selected. And if you are a female filmmaker, you are required practically to have the exact same themes in all your movies. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Look, I saw 3 films. And I was planning to see more. And after the 3rd film, I was done. It's like I cannot watch another Sundance movie, and I just quit. I'll go. I saw the Podcaster zombie movie. Let's see. I think it was called "You Didn't Die." And again, it was like it wasn't really a zombie movie. It had zombies in it. You could, it was in that situation, but it was just about this kind of family. They created a podcast to create a support group for people who survived and have survivor's guilt and stuff like that. And that's the movie. I saw another one called Bubble and Squeak. This is probably a more Hollywood film, starring Hamish Patel and Sarah Goldberg. And the comedy was just dreadful. It's the thing with comedy.
Oh, I may have lost Alan.
Is that the idea is that something weird or do something weird, it's funny. And that's what this movie is. It's just people doing weird things with a plot to string it all together. And it was just boring as hell. And they just it's the working too hard to be funny without being funny. And the third one I saw was Bunny Lover, which had an interesting thing. It was about a cam girl who was who had a client send her a bunny and she had to take care of it. And again, that's just another bleak story. It's the thing about cam girls and S workers. It's like, don't shame them, but at the same time, shame them. And
Sundance doesn't have anything interesting to say anymore. All they do is parrot the agenda of the far left. That is what Sundance is now, a far left tool. There's no diversity of thought. there's no diversity of political opinions. There is political bigotry. And I remember when the Me Too stuff went down, there was a 1-800 number you could call if you feel that you were harassed. It
Yeah.
was this pathetic overreach. And it's also, they're trying to cater to a generation that doesn't leave the house, people
Mhm.
who are perpetually online. And the stories they have to tell are boring. They're boring and and safe to say on social media because they get their audience just agrees with them.
Yeah. Safe and bleak.
They're
Safe and bleak.
safe and bleak and not free thinking. And that's not what indie film is to me. Indie film is a lot of points of view and something new I hadn't thought about, and not like whatever this is. And Sundance has become not relevant. It's really an
Mhm.
irrelevant. It used to be a cultural touchstone that influenced things like the Oscars. A lot of movies would start their journey at Sundance and then get just distribution in January and then come out in the fall and win the Oscars. Sundance doesn't have those movies anymore. And a lot of the movies, a side note, a lot of the movies, they premiere at Sundance and the following week are on HBO Max or Prime Video. I kid you not.
Yeah.
I want to see, where are the Kevin Smiths of tomorrow? You know, the Tarantino who developed Reservoir Dogs at the Sundance Institute. Look up, there's footage of it. Sundance has spiraled into irrelevancy by adopting one side of the political aisle. There's a lack of diversity, and there's just a constant pushing of all the. I mean, it is literally the DEI fest, is what Sundance has evolved into. It's Sun DEI Film Festival, and that's not good. We need different ideas. Look, I want the drag queen documentary or the feminist
Mhm.
romantic comedy, and something like Am I Racist from Matt Walsh could have been at a festival.
Mhm.
But I mean, why
Yeah.
not all sides represented, all ideas, and filmmakers come together and discuss things? By the way, I'll tell you the project I'm involved in. I'm involved in a project called Lights, Camera, Conversation. And it's where I interview filmmakers on different sides of issues. And I went to Sundance to interview Palestinian filmmakers and Jewish filmmakers to find some type of common ground. It's a project that's getting off the ground. And I want to see if there's common ground with people on opposite sides of the aisle. It's not my project. It's a project put by people work in marketing and advertising. I was a hired gun to conduct the interviews, and they approached me because I am, according to, I guess, the world, known as a guy that's kind of in the middle. At least I'm willing to look at both sides of an issue. But, I have my own personal political beliefs, but I also have my belief that, which is maybe more libertarian, that we cover everything, but we don't discriminate against a movie because the Daily Wire made it, you know? And we also won't say a movie is good because the Daily Wire made it, It's like, I feel like we're very pragmatic approach. And I want to leave it there so we have so much to final thoughts, Alan.
Yeah. I think what is happening with Sundance is I think it feels like they're leaning away from the festival and leaning into their labs, where they
Right.
train writers and things like that. And based on that, I'm not hopeful for the direction they're sending these writers in.
Yeah.
Um, I think what you just said, this idea of expressing different opinions, giving us a diversity of opinions. I don't think that's what they're teaching them. They're
They are
definitely not.
not.
Yeah, they're definitely not teaching them good storytelling. They're not teaching them good comedy. And it's like there's this foundation. If you're going to base the Sundance Film Festival on these new writers that you're mentoring, um, you know, if you're poisoning the pot early in their careers, that's gonna set the tone of the festival for years to come, and it's not hopeful. I don't see it going anywhere. You know, speaking of, we just talked to Steve Martini, talked about his movie Bittersweet. Is a guy who went through that system. He had a Sundance Award-winning film, and they rejected his film when he submitted it for Sundance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so yeah,
very sad to see that good filmmakers are being ignored simply because they don't express what are the accepted views.